Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Academic English Practice live stream. I have to make sure I say that right. And thank you for coming. We're going to have a lot of fun, believe it or not, doing vocabulary. And it's going to start with something that's easy, and then we're going to go to medium, a little bit more difficult, and then hard, even more difficult, and then super hard, really, really hard. So it's going to be a challenge. I hope you guys are up for it. I still have a broken finger. You'll probably notice it now. Hopefully, it'll be not in the video after next week. Hopefully, this cast will go away. So this is for anybody who just wants to practice their English and challenge their vocabulary. It's for all levels. We're going to start easy and get more difficult. Also, remember that this is not necessarily like the TOEFL. So if you're here for TOEFL stuff, this is going to help you, but it's not like the TOEFL. So just so you know that. But I think that's about it. My name is Josh McPherson, and I am here as your guide today. You can ask me anything in the live chat. Thank you guys for coming. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's start. So I am going to share my screen here. Let's go here like this. I think this is what I'm going to want. Yep. Okay. And so we're going to start talking about technology. And do you know these 20 words about technology? By the way, this is something new that I'm doing, so let me know what you think. Is it easy? Is it difficult? Do you want to see something different? Let me know. I would really appreciate your feedback. And any questions you have, let me know. So this is how you know if you know a word. So how do you know if you know a word? Well, you can spell it and you can use it in a sentence. So we're going to practice doing that a little bit together right now. And by the end of this, you're going to improve your listening. You're going to learn and use 20 words about technology, and you're going to practice spelling some difficult words as well. So lots of fun. Words highlighted in red will be the vocabulary words. That's it. Let's get into it. The first part, it's called match the sentence. This is the easy part. So I will give you 60 seconds to match the words on the right here with the sentences on the left. So you have 60 seconds, and let me hide so you can see everything. All right, and you can start practicing and matching right now. 60 seconds. Here we go. All right, and that's time. So how did you do? This is supposed to be the easy part, so I hope it wasn't too difficult. What do you think? Easy, difficult? Let me know in the chat. Some people have some answers here, so I'm going to add them here. Daniel Ortiz says CADB. And let's see here. Dimitro says CADB as well. We have a little bit of disagreement now. Amir thinks DCAB. What do you guys think? Which one matches which? So, and if you have any questions, by the way, let me know in the chat. I'm going to answer them. But the answer is C, A, B, D. So hopefully you got that right. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. But hopefully you got that right. It is C, A, B, D. So let's see. Some people, a couple different answers here. And so I'm going to read them really quickly. We have internet access at the library. So access is when you are able to use something, used especially for the internet. I need to charge my phone somewhere fast. I think we all know that feeling. I stayed offline, so the opposite of being online, right? And my computer is down right now. Another way to say is that my computer crashed. So that is the first four there. Okay, so access, charge, offline, and down. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat. Some people are asking questions that, let me share one really quickly. Like Prerna says, I have to get 26 in the speaking. I'm scared. How will I get it? So I'm going to answer just kind of every question here in general at the end of this. So if you ask a question in the chat and you stick around, I'll answer it at the end, even if it's not about this. So I'm here for you guys. I'll just answer whatever you want me to answer. So I'll get to that later. But for now, we're going to go to the next part, which is the medium part. This is fill in the blank. So kind of similar to this, except you have 4 choices here, and I am going to read the sentence. You have to pick which vocabulary word fits, and I will give you about 15 seconds for this, something like that. Yeah, so let me pause this and let me move out of the way here. Okay, there we go. So, first one. I have my computer set for blank updates. Advance, automatically, advanced with a D, or automatic. Which one do you think fits? And I got to move the timer here. Okay, here we go. 15 seconds. All right, and that is time. What do you think? What do you think the answer is going to be? For this one, it's going to be, let me just check the chat. Anybody put it? Oh, we got one person. Hold on. Automatic. Yes, that is correct. I have my computer set for automatic updates, that you do it automatically. Anybody know the opposite of automatic? For a little bonus point here, it's going to be, anybody? Automatic, the opposite is manual. Manual. If you have a question about this one, drop it in the chat. There's going to be 5 more questions like this, and I'll answer any questions you have after we finish this part. So let's look at number 6. He blanked the page because he needs to look up this information again for his future projects. So is that he rejected the page, he created the page, he visited the page, or he bookmarked the page? What do you think? Here we go. All right, and that is time. Which do you think? Did he rejected the page? He created the page. He visited the page. He bookmarked the page. This one is a bit tricky. We have a couple different opinions. Let's see here. So, Rusar, thank you for joining. Welcome. I hope I pronounced your name right. I'm sorry for my pronunciation of every single one of your names. I apologize. Vikram says bookmarked, and Daniel says D as well. Amir says bookmark. Yes, that is correct. This one is bookmarked. He bookmarked the page because he needs to look up this information again. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Okay. And again, if you have a question, drop it in the chat. I will answer it after we get to number 9. I think we got 9 of these. Number 7. I do not think I'm going to buy the next blank of this phone because I'm not happy with the current model. 15 seconds. Here we go. Or 20 seconds. Two, one, beep beep. All right, so what do you think? What fits here? You're gonna buy the next what? Performance, product, service, or generation of this phone because I am not happy with the current model. Which do you think fits? This one seems to be a bit trickier. There's a bit more radio silence on this one. All right. I'm going to just give you the answer for this one. It's going to be generation. I do not think I'm going to buy the next generation of this phone. So this one is a bit tricky because you might know generation, you might know it as a different meaning. Your parents' generation, you might know it from biology. For technology, we use it for different models, and especially newer models of you hear it all the time with iPhone, the next generation of iPhones, next generation of electric vehicles, something like that. You would hear it. So that is generation. Number 7. All right, we're moving right along. Number 8. When you blank your files in a computer, it's important to have a backup somewhere. All right, let's see what you got. 20 seconds. Here we go. All right, what do you think? By the way, thank you for asking about my hand. Yeah, it's fine. It's just annoying, really, and itchy. Um, so let's see, which one do you think you should put in the blank? So when you, okay, a couple people are putting it in here. Let's see here. Amir says when you store your files in a computer, that is correct. BBB store. Yep. Uh, Susanto. Good store. Yep, everyone's getting that right. Seems like an easy one. All right, let's go to the next one. Last one for medium, and then we're going to go to hard next. Okay, so here we go. Number 9. Unlike most people who keep only blank photos, Kim uses an old camera with film. What do you think? Digital, mobile, software, or filtered? Here we go. 20 seconds. All right, so what do you think? We got a couple people here. Nelly says A, digital. Dimitro, A, digital. Yeah, that's correct. It's going to be digital. Some people might have put mobile for this. Yeah, but if you see here, old camera with film, so it means digital photos. There's actually no such thing as mobile photos. We don't use mobile as an adjective with photos. We usually say like I have photos or I have pictures on my phone. We don't say like mobile pictures usually. Okay, so that's why A is correct, digital. So I hope that went well. This is the medium part. Somebody, I don't know if you could somebody put in the chat a question about, I think it was number 5, why is this automatic? And I have my computer set for automatic updates. So why not advanced updates, I think was the question. Because advanced is not really, we don't say advanced updates in this type of context when we're talking about updates to software or something like that. So that's why the word advanced and update doesn't really match. So it just doesn't match this context. No, maybe that's not a great answer, but that's the best I got for you. So it's a automatic update, and that's something we use pretty often. You automatically update something. The opposite of that is manual. You manually update something. Okay, so we have 9 tech vocabulary words so far. I will keep going, and we're going to go to the hard part now. Now, this is where it gets hard. And yeah, obviously. I'm going to just speak, and I'm going to say a sentence. I'm going to say the sentence twice, and you have to type what you hear. If you only, I mean, you're on a computer, of course, but if you can't access Microsoft Word or whatever, you can write it down. But you should type it. You're going to listen to me say a sentence, and then you type it out. That's it. I'm going to hide my face to make it harder for you because I just want you to focus on your ears and just listening. So that's what makes this a little bit more difficult. I'm going to say each sentence twice. We're going to do about 5 that are like this. Okay, here we go. Number 10, and let me change my screen here. Okay. Number 10. I'm going to read this twice. Here's the first time I'm reading it. The performance from this year's model went beyond expectations. I'm going to say it again. The performance from this year's model went beyond expectations. And let me know in the chat what you guys think I just said. All right, got a couple answers here. So I love this name. I love pockets. From this year's model went beyond expectations. Beautiful. Very good. The performance on this year's model went beyond expectations. If I'm going to be picky, I would just say capitalized T. But besides that, it's great. Your spelling matters. Okay, that's why I said in the beginning of this that you have to know a word, you have to be able to spell it and use it in a sentence. So if you couldn't spell it, that's a problem. Okay, so you have to make sure that you're able to spell it. And the word is performance. Okay, and so we have a couple of people that were pretty close. And let me just share a couple of, yeah, this is good. Somebody might ask, let me add this one to the bar. So somebody might ask, like, I didn't put year with an apostrophe S, if I just put year instead of years. This type of question is on the Duolingo English test where you have to listen and type. That would kind of hurt your performance. Yeah, so you have to make sure that your spelling is right, that that everything is correct. So make sure that you do that. I wouldn't worry about commas too much. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't worry about apostrophes too much either, but you want to make sure that everything is spelled really well. Okay, next one. Here we go. I'm going to say it twice. Unfortunately, I lost the cord to my charger. That's the first time. I'm going to say it again. Unfortunately, I lost the cord to my charger. All right, I got a couple answers trickling in. Let's see what we got. Grace, yes, very good. Good, yeah. So let me share the answer here. Again, on the Duolingo English test, I don't think they're gonna ask you for a comma, so I wouldn't worry about that. But if you put that, that's amazing. That's definitely what you want to put. Chord is the kind of tricky word here that we don't really use too often. So you might have had a issue with the spelling of cord, or even hearing that word chord, because it's not a very common word. Cord. That's usually what we use, and we actually use it pretty often because it's that wire that connects your phone to the wall or to the whatever. So cord is the word. So yeah, so Jim could hear everything, but just that word, it sounded a little weird, right? Not used to hearing the word cord. Okay, so here we go. Next one. So this is hard. So you guys are doing good. A lot of you guys are doing this right. This one is going to be a little long. Here we go. If you want to have less spam in your inbox, unsubscribe from email lists. All right, here we go. I'm going to read it again. If you want to have less spam in your inbox, unsubscribe from email lists. One thing I'll point out here that Katarinka mentioned is that, because if you want to, my pronunciation probably sounds like if you wanna, you definitely want to write it down correctly. You don't want to use, wanna and gonna and that kind of stuff. Don't write it how I say it. Write it with the correct grammar and vocabulary and all that good stuff. Okay, so we have some answers here. Let's see here. Ray says, if you want, yeah, so try to write want to. I know I probably sounded like wanna have less spam in your inbox, unsubscribe from email lists. Good, yeah. The one tiny thing is there's an S at the end, email lists with an S, so make sure that you have that. Yeah, so that's a good part. A lot of people put wanna. Yeah, don't do that. You have to write want to. Make sure you spell it correctly. Again, this question type is not on the TOEFL, but it is on the Duolingo English test. So yeah, make sure that if you're taking Duolingo, that you do that. Okay, got two more. Here we go, two more. But lots of people did it well. Let me see if I can just find. If you want to have less spam in your inbox. Good, yeah. Just missing a comma, no big deal, but good, Jim Lee. All right, here we go. Next one. Let's see. Okay, yeah, two more. Three more, excuse me. Do you think toddlers should be allowed to use devices like a tablet? I'm going to speak a little faster. Here we go. I'm going to say it again. Do you think toddlers should be allowed to use devices like a tablet? All right. So the chat is quieter this time. I have, let's see here. Okay. Let's see if I could find. All right. Loving Pockets. Do you think toddlers should be allowed to use devices like a tablet? Good. Don't think you need a comma there. I guess you could have. Do you think toddlers should be? Yeah, you could have a comma. It's okay. I didn't put one, but yeah, they should be allowed to use devices like a tablet. Good. Yeah, let me just. Do you think? Yeah, so this is so close from karma, but just yeah, you just need an S there. Toddlers should be allowed to use devices. So you're just missing a couple words here. That's something that comes up pretty often. Is that when you're listening and it's going really fast, you type things and then there's just like a word or two missing. Okay, so that's how. Do you think that should be allowed to use devices like a tag? Good. So lots of people got it right. Shinoza, this looks good. Capital D. Do you think Tyler should be allowed to use devices? So this is, instead of diverse, it should be devices like a tablet. Okay, here we go. We're gonna do one more, and actually, Amir has a good question. I'm gonna put it up in the chat really quickly. Do you think these types of questions are practical for TOEFL? I would say that practicing in general is practical. That's why I'm doing this. But I think that you should mix up your practice with TOEFL stuff and with other things as well. So this is just something else that you can use. This is designed to help you improve your listening skills. So of course, you don't have to do this on TOEFL, but it's just something to help you practice. We're going to do the next one, number 14. Here we go. Actually, no, there's just one more. Number 14. Yeah, there's just one more. Last one. Okay, here we go. Gonna read it a little fast. My desktop is running slow because it lacks sufficient memory. All right, here we go. I'm going to say it again. My desktop is running slow because it lacks sufficient memory. All right, got a couple answers here. Okay, this is pretty close from Pearly. My desktop is running low, almost running slow. My desktop is running slow because it lacks sufficient memory. I'm going to circle back really quickly. Somebody had a question about what does toddlers mean. Toddlers basically means, let's see if I can find the question. Yeah, Kararinka. It just means babies that are between 2 to 4 years old, I think is the age group. So it's like there's like babies, which is like 0 to 2, and then toddlers 2 to 4, and then kids is 4 and up, right? So that's what that means. So yeah, so this is pretty close. You know, if the spelling is off, it would be marked incorrect, just so you know. So be careful with the spelling. Sufficient is a hard word to spell, but that's why this is the hard part, right? This is the hard section. But so you're doing well. We're getting closer to the end. We have the super hard part next, which is a crossword puzzle. So the way it works is that I'm going to basically just uh, give you the puzzle first. It's a crossword puzzle. There's going to be 6 definitions, and you have to put them in the correct. I'm gonna just, you know what, I'll just show you what it looks like. And let me go back to this here. Where am I? Where am I? Here we go. Here it is. So you're gonna have to read these. This is so hard. So that's why it's called super hard. It's hard because you only have the definition and the number of letters in the word. So you don't have a sentence in context. You know, you don't have A, B, C, or D. You don't have, you know, you could just connect 1, 2, 3, 4 to A, B, C, D. So that's why we've gone from easy. This is what makes it hard, is that you have very little context. Okay, so very, very little context. So I'm going to give you just a minute to try to do it. You can pause this as well if you need more time. And after this, I'm going to give you a hint for each one to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to give you an example sentence with a blank to make it a bit easier. So I'll give you a minute to just try, see how it goes. Let's see how you guys do, and then we can talk about, and then I can give you some hints, and we can go into a little bit more detail. So let me give you a minute. Think about what you think your answer is going to be, and good luck. Here we go. If you know any answer, put it in the chat or put it in the comments. Let me know what you think. So far, I think I see one correct answer so far. So definitely pause it if you want to challenge yourself. We're going to look at the first one, number 3, and I'm going to give you a little bit of clues and a little bit of details here for number 3 to see if you can guess the answer here. So let's try this here. So for number 3, you know the definition. It's software downloaded on a computer. Here's an example sentence. How many blank is your computer currently running? So what do you think? How many blank is your computer currently running? And the word begins with A. What do you think? Let me see if I can do a little timer here. No, that's a bit too long. Let's go. Nope. Yeah, let's do it this way. Let's see if anybody got an answer here for this one. All right, well, it's going to be application. So number 3 is application. 3 across, application. Couple people got it. Good. All right. Next one, going to give you a little bit, a little bit of a hint here. Here we go. Next one. This is going to be for, which one are we looking at here? 5 across. 5 across. Extra piece of info, which is information often used with email. And then here's the sentence. I'll send the document as a blank to my next email. What do you think begins with A? All right. One guy got it. Jim Lee, attachment's good. Attachment, yes. Martina, good. So that is attachment. 5 across. 6 across. Computer program to navigate between web pages. And here's the sentence. Most people use Google, but some use Bing as their preferred web what? Their preferred web what? I forgot to do my timer. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's going to be a couple people got it. Bubakar Jallo. Browser is good. Daniel, yes. Browser. Youssef, good. Browser, that's right. Okay. So remember, make sure that you use this. You know, some people have different answers that don't begin with a B. Make sure you use all of the hints that you're given to try to guess the correct answer. Maybe you just don't know. That's totally fine. So we got 3 so far. Maybe it's a little bit easier to get the other 3 down now that you have this, but let's see how it goes. So this is going to be for number, let's see here, 1 down, electrical energy transmitted or received. I usually work in a coffee shop because the Wi-Fi blank is stronger than the one in my apartment. The Wi-Fi blank is stronger than the one in my apartment. What do you think? The Wi-Fi. Anybody get it? Let me check the chat. I don't think anybody put the answer. No, it's not device. Yeah, Vikram got it. There you go. Signal. The Wi-Fi signal. The all-important Wi-Fi signal. Should be in everybody's vocabulary at this point. Okay, the next one, down 2. Got 2 more. And let's see here. Computer, tablet, or mobile screen. After the blank on her phone cracked, she decided it was time for an upgrade. So what is that? What cracked? All right, what do you guys think? What do you think cracked that they needed to get a replacement for? It's not device, because the device is your phone, right? Your phone or tablet is your device. Yes. There's Ray, display. Yes. Nelly, yes, display. Vikram, yes. Display. Good. Somebody asked to circle back to the other question before, what about Wi-Fi connection? You know, there is a Wi-Fi connection. That's totally fine. You can say that. Just for this situation here, we have S and we have these blanks. We have to say signal. But good, yeah, there is a synonym for this. You could say connection as well. One more, last one. Allowing a two-way flow of information. Can you figure it out? There's this long word here. I'll give you a hint. Most people prefer to use blank software when they study. Last one. Let's see. Can you get it? Can you get it? And then I'll open this up for questions. You could ask me anything at the end and I will answer. All right. What do you see? What do you think? What most people prefer to use some type of software. What kind of software is it? Interface. That's a good idea. Not quite. And if you see the crossword, you see that it doesn't fit. Oh, actually, Interface. Yeah, it's a little short, right? Let's see here. Ooh, I don't know if anybody's gonna get it here. This is a interactive. Oh, interaction is close. Interactive. It is. I don't know what entertainment is, but yeah, interactive. That was really close with interaction. Yeah, interactive. And interactive means that you are a part of it. You know, kind of like now. This is kind of interactive. You can leave comments and I can comment back. But even more interactive would be if there were like other students and I were talking and we were all in a class together. That would be more interactive. If you made it here, that's amazing. I'm going to open it up to any questions that you have. You spent about 30 minutes practicing. That's amazing. Thank you for doing that. I hope you found this helpful. And these are the list of 20 words. If you feel like you need to practice more, remember, you need to be able to spell the word correctly and you be able to need to use it in a sentence. You can, practice that in a lot of different ways. I can answer some questions if you want, but I didn't go through like a dictionary and give you the definitions. You could just ask Google if you really need to know that stuff. So I hope you found this helpful, but I'll open up to questions. Somebody asked me about how to get a 26 in the Toefl Speaking, so I will answer that briefly. I didn't, it's kind of hard to sum up what to do. But I mean, the first thing that you need to do is that you need to know what your weaknesses are. So when you record your voice, first of all, I hope you're recording your voice when you're practicing and you're listening back to your answer. I'm going to give you 3 things to think about. By the way, if you're asking, if you came late, what happened to my hand? I broke my finger, still got a cast on. It looks ridiculous, but here it is. I just keep seeing it and it's bothering me. Do you know the structure? Okay, so that's the first thing. Structure is the easiest thing to improve on and to fix. Structure is basically like, do you know templates? You don't have to use a template, but do you know what you should say first and second and third for each question? Do you know the structure? Some students don't know, so that's the first thing that you should know how to do and do well. The second thing you need to check is your vocabulary and grammar. If you are speaking and you listen to your response and you think that it sounds too simple, the grammar is too simple, you always use the present tense, you say words like good and bad and thing a lot too much, then that could be something that would get in the way of you getting a 26. So that's the second thing you want to look for is vocabulary and grammar. One way to help you do that is to, when you listen to your response, you can transcribe your response, which means you can write down what you said. If you listen to a 60-second response of you speaking, I know it'll be very painful, but you can listen to it and type out what you said. And then you can see what you said on paper. Now that's huge because most of us find reading a lot easier to study than speaking. So when you speak and you write it down, that means you change your speech to reading, to writing. And so that helps you kind of analyze your speaking a bit better. So definitely transcribe your response to do that, to check your vocabulary and grammar. The last thing you need to check is the hardest thing to improve, which is your speech music. Could be your pronunciation, could be the rhythm and flow of how you speak, your intonation when you go up, when you go down. And that stuff is a bit trickier, and that's the kind of thing that I would recommend working with a teacher if you get to that point. We have a TST prep. I don't ever I don't ever. I should be talking about my site. tstprep.com. That's where I work, and so you definitely go there. We have a speaking evaluation. If you need some feedback on your speaking, you need to know what you need to improve. But that's how you do it. Okay, so let me circle back to the chat and see if there's any other questions here. So Amir has a good question. What is the best vocabulary source for TOEFL? There is, I wonder if I can, I'll write a note to myself to put in the description later. There's something called the academic word list, which is a list of 620 of the most common words that show up in academic text, no matter what subject, whether you're studying law or history or biology, these words come up. So that list is a really good list. I don't recommend really studying lists of words, just using it as a resource. I would recommend instead for vocabulary, if you need to improve your academic vocabulary, I think TED is probably the best site for that. Or, some of the lives that we're doing here, I'm trying to do more academic reading and listening to give you guys practice so you can have some ways of practicing that. But TED is a great resource, so I would recommend that. And then also the academic word list for the vocabulary. So you can just check that list and see how much you know and see what words you might want to study. Nelly, thank you. I will. I'm going to the doctor on Friday, so I hope he lets me. Hope he lets me go. He gets this thing off. Okay, so Yusuf asked about practicing speaking question number 2. So let me I'm going to just show you a site that has free speaking questions, and also you can listen to other students' questions. So let me see what my screen looks like. It's always a little tricky here. Hold on one second. Yeah, so this might be a little hard to see, but this is TST Prep, and if you go to free resources, there's something new that says donate your speaking. So if you go here, we just did this about a week or 2 ago, and it has questions here. So it has like a question number 1. These are all different question number 1s, and then question number 2 here, this question type. And you can listen to other students' sample responses as well here. So if you listen to sample number 1.
2 students in class are discussing the changes done to the graduation ceremony due to.
You can listen to this student's response. So this is all just people donating their speaking. And you could check out the question here and practice. There's a couple of questions here for question 2 and 3 and 4. I'm going to put a link in the chat if I can do that. I think I can do that. I hope I can do that. Yeah. So you can practice speaking there, and you can check some of the other students' responses. So that was a question from Yusuf, how to practice speaking question number 2. Let's see here. Anybody else? You can ask me anything. How to plan for the TOEFL? It's a big question. To circle back to what I said about speaking, it depends on what you need. You need to evaluate your weaknesses and your strengths, what you do well and what you need to improve. So, I like focusing on one section at a time, because like the test is so big, reading, listening, speaking, and writing, and you think like, okay, I gotta improve this in reading. It could be pretty daunting. So I would just focusing on one section each day. For example, like let's say you need to do all 4 sections. Some students don't need to, but let's say you need to practice all 4 sections. Okay, today I'm going to do reading, and my goal for reading is to do this and this and this. So just take it one day at a time. Try not to do too much. The other thing is that a lot of people, when they start studying for the TOEFL or a big test in general, they plan like, I'm going to study for 5 hours a day or 3 hours a day, and it's just a lot. It's a lot of studying. I to be honest, not that I don't recommend studying a lot, but most people who are successful study for less than an hour a day, just because it's more likely that you're actually going to do it. It's like if you say you're going to study for 3 hours and like you practice on having like this really intense, like 1 month or 2 months where you're just studying really intensely, you're going to be miserable. And so I would not recommend doing that if you can help it. Some people can't help it. But if you can, try not to make yourself miserable. Um, I don't want to study for the TOEFL 3 hours a day. So, try to try to make it manageable, something that you'll actually do. Uh, the other thing is to plan out your week on one day. So, for example, on Sunday, plan out what you're going to do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday. Plan out your week before you actually do it, because a lot of times what happens is that when you're saying, okay, I'm going to study reading on Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday comes. What am I going to do? All right, let me check this site. Let me watch this video. Let me do this. Let me do that. And you're kind of just like the word is meandering. You're just kind of meandering around and you're not really focused. If you say, okay, I'm going to study from this book on this page on Tuesday, and I'm going to watch this video at this link on Tuesday. If you're very specific what you do each day, it'll help you kind of plan out your week. So that is how I would plan. Somebody said that it is hard to brainstorm for the speaking section, Amir. Yeah, by brainstorm, I'm assuming you mean the independent speaking question, the first question where you have to give an opinion. Yeah, there's a lot of things I could say about this. What can I say about brainstorming? Basically, there's a document that I have that I will, again, I'll put it in the description. I have to look for it. So there's two things I have to put. I have to put the vocabulary list, and I have to put this how to think of reasons and ideas. There's a document that I made called How to Think of Reasons and Ideas for the Toefl Speaking, and I think this is what you're looking for. But just to give you an idea of what it's about is that you try to think in terms of themes. So, for example, you could be asked anything for question one. So you don't know what you're going to be asked. You're not sure what you're going to say, right? So what I recommend is to think in terms of themes. So like, how does this question affect my time, my money, my education, and there's something else I don't remember, and my family maybe. Anyway, so something like that. How does it affect my time, money, and education? Or how does it affect my family, my friends, my community, my country? So you think in terms of those themes, it becomes a little bit easier to have an opinion, because you think about, okay, well, how would this hurt my time? How would it hurt my education? How would it hurt my family? And that kind of helps a bit with coming up with ideas, if that's what the question is. Space to practice speaking. Okay, so this is an interesting question. Excuse me. Miriam said, I don't always get space to practice speaking because getting privacy is difficult in my household. What are the alternatives when I could practice for TOEFL speaking section? Excuse me. Let's see. You don't have space. You live in a small house. Anybody have any ideas? I mean, probably, I'm sure you've probably thought of ideas as well. Every situation is different. So, what's going to work for you is going to not be the same as what works for somebody else. What I would suggest is try to find a time where, okay, so there's two things I suggest. One thing I would suggest is try to find a time where, you would have more privacy than other times. So, for example, my son likes to play Nintendo Switch, but he knows that I don't like it when he plays it. So what he does is that he wakes up 30 minutes earlier than everybody else, usually more than that. So then he plays quietly so I don't bother him. So that's what his kind of strategy is. So, okay, my dad doesn't like me playing this. I'm just going to wake up earlier. That's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is you can tell your family the situation. That like, look, I have this test. It's very important. I have to study and I have to practice speaking. It's embarrassing. I don't want you guys to listen. I'm going to just stay in this corner. Please don't bother me if that's possible. Again, everybody's family situation is different, but I think you can be creative with the solutions that you'll get. Okay, so let's see here. Vikram, hi, Josh, struggle a lot in the independent speaking section, but after using andos and themes, you just said I am really doing good. Oh, good. So this is something he watched, I guess. I think there's a video about this too, maybe that I made a long time ago. But anyway, yeah, I'll put a link to that document. Okay, so there's another question from Miriam. This is more of like a health issue. So I'm not sure how best to answer this. If you have any kind of like um, health issues or something that you need some special treatment, you would have to contact ETS and talk to them about it, and see if they can help you with some conditions. In general, though, you should be speaking in a way that is natural. So you shouldn't be, if you speak English, in other situations, you should be able to speak it on the test as well. You don't have to be blah 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 blah, 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 talking really fast, during the TOEFL speaking. It's just intense, it's very stressful, but you don't really speak faster. It's not really what it's you're not that's not supposed to be you're not supposed to speak faster. Hopefully I answered that. Yes, I still live in Japan. It's 10:30 at night for me. Let's see. So some people ask, any tips for note taking for TOEFL speaking questions 3 or 4? I think I have a whole video about taking notes, so I'm not gonna talk too much about that. But really, for the speaking, you don't have to take a lot of notes. That's the good thing about the TOEFL speaking integrated questions. Just write down, let's say, for example, um, the main idea and 1 or 2 things you heard. Some people don't take down any notes and they do just fine. The passage that you hear is and the one that you listen to, both are about 150 to 200 words, so they're not huge. So you can remember quite a bit of the information, even if you don't have too many notes. What I suggest is that a lot of people have trouble taking notes and listening at the same time. Focus on understanding first, and then worry about taking notes. If you have trouble taking notes, start really small. Say like, okay, I'm just going to write down 5 words that I understand. That's it. You don't want to write down what you hear, but you don't understand it. If you write down things that you hear, but you don't know what it means and you don't remember the context, it's not helpful. So don't even bother doing it. Just write down some of the words that you hear that you understand that you think are helpful. And you're actually going to be shocked by how helpful just 5 words on your page are. They're going to trigger a lot of memories for you. I keep trying to snap with this hand. Anyway, I love pockets. Any writing? I love the name. Any writing tips? Well, I mean, a bunch. There's a video called Top 10 Writing Tips. I would say to go to that and watch it, and you'll find something. But I think that's about it. Thank you guys for sticking around. If you're still here, I hope you found this helpful. Please give me feedback. It really does help a lot to like and share and subscribe and do all that stuff, but also just to let me know what you think of this type of practice. How can it be better? What can I do differently? Let me know. I like doing these lives. I miss teaching, so this is nice. I thank you for watching to the end. Visit tstprep.com. And that's it. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Please come back. Come back for the next one. Please, please. All right.